Had drivers from the last 3 600s.
Yeah, and they seem like they've got a really good combination out there. I was watching out there, Jimmy Johnson on his back bumper. He saw might be just a little bit loose, but we're getting real close to pit stops right now. One thing I wanted to bring up is I talked to Jack Roush myself this past week, and he said, hey, I will see you at Dover next week if the doctor approves it. And what he was telling me was his leg is really getting better every day. He's feeling better. His spirits are up, but he wants to get a little stronger. As we can see right now, pit stops are starting to come in, and we see the 7 car of Casey Atwood on pit road, and Jimmy Johnson just continues to march through this field.
Jack Roush, of course, having the plane crash around Talladega, up walking, and expects to be. And it looks like the 48 car is slipping a little bit. Let's go back upstairs.
John Andretti makes a stop. Steve Hart comes back on the track after time in the garage. Jeff Burton, the defending champion of this race, has taken his car behind the wall where they're working on it with the hood up. Dick Berggren's there.
I'm with Frank Stoddard. Frank, what's going on?
Well, we broke a motor. Something in the motor broke. I don't know if it's a valve spring or a push rod rocker or something. So we're just going to go ahead and try to deaden that cylinder, take the push rods out, not kill it anymore. It's a shame. The car was running actually pretty good. We got a lap down there with a tire problem. Got that fixed, and we're running on the racetrack in third. Just couldn't get a caution, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's all for naught. It's a shame the guys work hard on the motors, and I don't know, it's just part of the game.
They're still working hard on the motors. They had 157 laps on this engine before the start of the race today. To Steve.
6 to 31 of Robbie Gordon in. They're going to put a round of wedged in. They're also the extra man over the wall giving Robbie Gordon a drink. Could not see if they got any additional padding into the seat. But again, a chassis adjustment and a drink for Robbie Gordon. What about you?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to win his first 600-miler here in Charlotte. Remember, he had that tow-out problem. We had the contact with the 49 car earlier. Look for Tony Eury Jr. on the front to try to pull out that right front fender a little bit. They were talking about that on the radio to try to help that condition. See a crew member pull that out as Eury Jr. is going to work on the left front. A little bit slow on the left front, and he's down and away. To Dick Berggren.
Matt Kenseth is in the pits as well. He has been trouble with a car that at first was perfect, then it went loose. They wanted to work on spring rubbers, change the springs in the back, but they didn't want to do that under a green flag. Just takes too long. To Matt.
Remember, we told you that the leader, the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, was loose on entry, loose in the middle, and loose off. They're talking about adjustments on the radio, more than likely, as a little bit of close call with a 14. Johnson slides inside. He's got to back up. He's got to back up the car. This is going to be costly for Jimmy Johnson. The first mistake of the day for Jimmy Johnson. He'd been working on his entry into the pits. They had gotten a lot better. This will be very costly. As now they come around to the left side. No chassis adjustments for Jimmy Johnson. His first mistake of the day for the rookie. Who was driving like a veteran. He's now finally down and away.
Sterling Marlin in and out. Michael Waltrip, Jerry Nadeau, Mark Martin, Dick Berggren.
Well, Mark Martin's car is also a bit loose. They're going to put 3 rounds in the left rear. That's a pretty lot of weight going in the left rear on one of these pit stops. A good stop so far for Mark Martin. He is looking for his first win in well over a year, and this could be a good racetrack for him to win it. To Steve.
Right side tires already on the number 32 of Ricky Craven. Just an air pressure adjustment. Jim Carvin and Tony Enderley changing tires. Ricky Craven is away.
Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Tony Stewart are in. Matt.
Left side tires going on the 24 cars. Jeff Gordon, he was tight in the middle and loose off. They had air pressure adjustments to fix the tight in the middle. They made a wedge adjustment in the left rear to fix the loose off.
Dale Jarrett, Mike Skinner have stopped as Kyle Petty comes onto pit road, and Bobby Labonte has come to the front. Sadler is in.
What Jimmy Johnson, what we got to be careful, what he's got to be careful of now is not to get frustrated and not to overdrive the car, not try to make all that time up at once. He's still got the best car on the track. He can get back in this race without any problem.
Labonte pits. Kenny Schrader, Frank Kimmel on pit road as well as Bobby Labonte.
But Jeff will tell you, Mike and Larry, I preached all the time, don't beat yourself. You know, you got enough competition out there. Don't beat yourself.
The only thing he has going for him is he had about a 5-second lead. And I've been watching the cars that have pitted and the cars that have stayed out. Right now, when it's all said and done, he's going to be about 3 seconds behind Matt Kenseth, who should be leading the race once we cycle through the pit stops.
Here's your new leader, Dave Blaney. Going to come in and this time and make his pit stop.
Remember, every time these guys lead a lap, even if it's just 1 lap, it's 5 Winston Cup bonus points.
So Blaney comes to Ryan Pemberton and team.
Good stop now.
And those bonus points will really play big at the end of the year, too, Mike. And Larry, you know that.
Absolutely. And Kenseth will be the leader as we finish this cycle of pit stops. Now, let's show you rookie mistake, Darrell, by Jimmy Johnson.
I think so. What I noticed earlier, Mike, was he was not getting in his pit box hard enough. And I think Chad must have gotten on him. And the last couple of times in, he had really been aggressive coming to his box. That time it bit him.
I mean, you have to pit in that box.
Right.
The only thing you can have hanging out is possibly the right rear. The front has to be behind that yellow line.
And the thing about it, Mike, they watch the 17 cars pit stops on TV just like everybody else does. That's where they picked up on Kenseth getting in and out better than Jimmy was.
But look at our graphic now. This is the first time we've had green flag stop. You see Jimmy Johnson, and look, the pit stop, but look at the lap pit time. What that is, that's 2 laps from start-finish line to start-finish line 2 times, including the pit stop. He's 154, but look at Matt Kenseth, 146. That's 8 seconds. He had a 5-second lead. He's 3 seconds behind that.
What saved Jimmy Johnson was he backed up the car before they started working on it. If they had jacked that car up with the car over the line, it would have been a penalty. The NASCAR official was there going back up or else penalty.
Yes, and here's something to consider. We are now in that transition period from daylight to dark. This is the toughest part of the night. When the sun's gone down, the lights haven't quite taken effect yet.
And this is when I'm picking your brain. Tell me what that car's doing. We got a few more stops to make some adjustments.
Okay. NASCAR. Find your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. By Subway. Fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway. Eat fresh. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Riding with Bill Elliott at Lowe's Motor Speedway as daylight turns to darkness in the Coca-Cola Racing Family 600. Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin in Fords, pole sitter Jimmy Johnson's Chevrolet, Ricky Rudd in a Ford, Sterling Marlin's Dodge are the top 5.
Look at here. This cat right here, Jimmy Johnson. He may have had a bad pit stop, but it isn't going to slow that race car down. He's back in 2nd place, closing on the lead. Matt Kenseth up there. I think they just unleashed her a little bit.
Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, let's check in with his crew chief, Chad Canals. Chad, kind of dissect that pit stop. You lost a lot of time.
Yeah, we were coming down pit road in the 14 car rather, and just finished up his stop, and we were going to go around him to get into our pit box. He tried to get out of his, and Jimmy had to check up quite a bit, lost his rhythm, kind of ran over the yellow line a little bit. Guys did a great job pushing him back, just did 4 tires, didn't have any mistakes after that point. You know, that's the big thing that we need to do right now. Jimmy's doing a great job. The car's running terrific. We just need to have no mistakes, and we'll put this power of Bright Low Chevrolet victory lane tonight.
Remember, his car owner, Jeff Gordon, wasn't as lucky last year. He was leading when he pitted and was hit by the 27 on pit road. The aerodynamic damage ruined his chances for a victory. Jimmy Johnson a little luckier tonight, Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, with Michael McSwain, crew chief on the 28. Michael, as it gets cooler, how is your race car adapting to this racetrack?
Yeah, our race car's pretty good. We made some changes for the hot weather. Anticipate the cold, and we put all those back now. The car's still pretty good. We had a bad pit stop, the guys did a great job on the last pit stop. I think we recovered. We'll be okay now.
Rudd 7.5 seconds off the lead in 4th place.
You know, that mistake, Jimmy Johnson, about a 5-second mistake, that equates out to 900 feet on the racetrack. It don't sound like much, but it's a lot when you're out there running about 190 miles an hour.
But it may have, but look where he is.
He's right there lurking to take the lead back.
He's knocking on the door.
Kevin Harvick has taken his ill-handling car, which was 5 laps down, to the garage.
I think they need to go in there and make some chassis adjustments. Maybe use this for a test session.
He will join Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Ward Burton, and Kevin LePage for the lead right here.
Drove that thing right to the bottom of the racetrack, right around that white line, and completed the pass in 1 corner.
You know, a good race car, it seems to handle good in the sunshine when it's 80 degrees, 85, 89 degrees. Good at night, 65 degrees.
Twilight time, just north of Charlotte on NASCAR's longest night. 250 laps completed at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword leader, for your shot at collectible gear from your favorite driver. Brought to you by Lotriman Ultra. Right Right now, Jimmy Johnson out in front of Matt Kenseth by a second and a half. Kenseth's Ford teammate Mark Martin in third. Ricky Rudd fourth, 10 seconds back. Ricky Craven fifth. Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Sterling Marlin, Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip are the top 10.
250 down, 150 laps to go. Is that all?
225 miles left to race.
Y'all ain't getting tired, are you?
Absolutely not. But you know what? A guy we have to keep mentioning and talking about because he's had quite an up-and-down night. Bobby Labonte, he's back in the 11th position in that 18 car. Remember, he had the problem on the racetrack with Mark Martin. Caved that right front fender in, came to pit road. They pulled it out, and he's just been steadily moving his way. Now, here you see by Fox Tracks, he's in 11th, but he's about 2/3 of a lap behind the leader. And right now, just watching the lap times, he's running about the same speed as the leader. And that's what Jimmy Maycar, his crew chief, will keep him posted. How far he's behind the leader, but how you relate to the leader.
I just want to say again, you're going to be so surprised when we get down inside of 50 laps to go, who's going to be in the top 5 and 6.
Well, right now, it's hard to believe that this is the first time around that for this man, Jimmy Johnson, that he's a rookie here. Best finish in 4 Busch races here was 16th last May. So it's not like Jimmy Johnson up until last Saturday night in the All-Star race when he won 2 of 3 segments, as he would be a fellow you'd pick to dominate this race. And he's led 163 laps, Darrell.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we've said a few times in the telecast earlier this year about those are Jeff Gordon cars. Those aren't Jeff Gordon cars anymore. Chad Canals and that crew have been building new cars every week, and those are Chad's cars, and Jimmy's giving Chad the information. That's what's making them go fast. I loved how he sounded on the radio earlier when we listened to him. Calm, just like he was on a Sunday drive. Well, actually, he is.
He is.
Pretty much. Yeah, he's working on Casey Atwood in that 7th car right now. Casey's in 18th position, so we have 18 cars on the lead lap.
Now, Dave Blaney was our leader as we cycled through pit stops. He was the last of the leaders to pit, but he's had to come back in unexpectedly. Steve?
Yeah, Mike, and we can show you why. He came back in on lap 249. He felt a vibration on the left rear tire. This is where the lug nut goes, and you can see it's gnarled up there. In fact, the team wrote J-U-N-K on it and drew an arrow. It's junk.
Just another one of those things we talk about, these pit crews pushing the envelope, trying to cut out those 14-second stops on pit road, and sometimes you just don't get those lugs tight enough.
Yeah, I had a pretty good idea when he came down pit road. Tires don't vibrate, but wheels do when they're loose.
You know, you look at the 48 car, it has Lowe's on the hood, but we'll talk about this power of pride. And what that's about, it's the world's biggest thank you card for those fighting for our freedom for this country, especially since September the 11th. The card is 14 stories tall, 48 feet wide, and has 23,000 fan signatures on it, thanking the people of our armed forces, and it will be presented to these men and women in mid-June. Oh, yeah, trouble turn 4.
Boy, turn 4.
Bill Elliott?
And, man, Jarrett,
Jeremy Mayfield.
You won't believe how close Jarrett came to getting wiped out in that deal.
Jeremy Mayfield limps around to the caution flag. It'll be the 7th
I
one
hated to
tonight.
interrupt you, Larry, but golly.
No, absolutely. That was big. Rusty Wallace and Brett Bodine in 11, and in the 2, they got their lap back.
I saw that 19 go around, and here comes, I thought Jarrett was definitely going to get taken out in the mess.
Mayfield's car had been damaged from a crash much earlier.
Watch this.
24.
Watch this, Mike. Watch this, Larry. This is how close this cat comes to getting wiped out right here.
And we're riding with Jarrett.
This man here,
Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Wrong way, wrong way. Oh, my God.